Of the wall out there behind that white car.
Yeah.
That's where the wall used to go out to that point and then go down to the south.
Okay.
So that's how big the yard was. And there used to be a shop building right in here, shoe shop and clothing shop. Okay. Now,
So Smokey, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What story are you giving to us?
I'm telling you about the Gates Riot.
Gates Riot.
The Gates Riot.
Right.
Riot.
Yes.
Gates Riot.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the story.
October 27th, 1887, Superintendent Tommy Gates just made his rounds in here in the prison, and he's coming back out. And he gets right here, and he's approached by inmate Jose Lopez, who asks him about, can I work in the shoe shop or something? And Gates says, yeah, I'm sure you can be worked out. Check with Assistant Superintendent Johnny B, and he'll do something for you. And they're walking and talking. We get right about here. Okay, we're moving a little bit, we're walking. Three more guys come running out. Ezekiel Bustamante, Librado Puebla, and I'm trying to think of the third guy. I can't think of it, but it'll come to me. Anyway, they come running over here. These three guys have knives. They get around the superintendent right here and they say, you got to get us through the Sally Port, and we're going to go over to the Gila River bottom over there and get down into the brush and escape. Now, if it had been a guard watching the gate, he never would have opened it, never, because there's a standing rule, you don't submit to prisoners' demands no matter what. But there is an inmate, a trustee, running the gate, and he's thinking, I'm not going to be responsible for the death of the superintendent. So he opens the gate. Okay, we're going to go through the gate. And as we're going through the gate with the superintendent and these four guys, three more guys come running over here. Albino Villa, Ricardo Padilla, and Remigio Rivera. They go, hey, Sally Port's open. So they come running through here too. Now we're gonna go through the gate. Look out, you guys.
Sheriff is in the way.
We're coming.
Get out of here.
There's a riot happening.
There's a riot. Okay, so they're coming through the gate. Now, what I'm gonna tell you now took about 2 minutes. I can't tell it as fast as it happened. But you got to understand everything. Now, B.F. Hartley, Benjamin Franklin Hartley, he's guard. He's right up there in the corner of that tank tower. These guys all come through the gate, and Padilla and Rivera, they run into the superintendent's office, which is right here, and they got a pistol out of his drawer. And all of these things happened at the exact same time. They run in and get that gun, and they come out. Hartley's in the tower. He yells to the superintendent, shall I shoot? And Gates yells, hell yes, you shoot. You don't pay attention to me being in here. So that happened, and so they come out with this gun. So Hartley opens up on these guys. Oh, and the other three guys that came over, they run this direction. That happened at the same time too. That's Albino Villa, Remigio Rivera, and Padilla. They're running west. So Hartley has permission to fire. He knocks down Albino Villa first thing. He's running away. The other two guys split and run different directions. They're caught, but they're gone. So that happens. Guy comes out. Now the other two guys come out of the superintendent's office. One of them has a gun. That changes his priorities big time. So he shoots him. That's Vasquez. He shoots him, knocks him down. And Jose Lopez is there. He shoots him and he knocks him down. Now that's two of them that are dying. This one's wounded. Now he swings his gun over here and he shoots Bustamante, Ezekiel Bustamante, and he falls right here on this spot. And his dying words are, Pocha que importa, what do I care? Adios, I'm leaving, checking out, he's dying. So now, Librado Puebla is all by himself, but he has a 6-inch knife. And he plunges it into the superintendent's neck with such force it goes clear through his chest and punctures his lung. Then he twists the knife and he starts to drag him towards the west side of the office building out of the range of Hartley's gunfire. Before this all started, Barney Riggs, he's a lifer, he's in here for life, for murder, and he's over there working on the office. And when the shooting starts, he's not stupid. He runs around the west end of the building too, and he's sitting down there. And Puebla's dragging the superintendent that direction. And Superintendent Gates yells, Riggs, get that gun that they had that fell out of his hand. He's laying on the ground. Get that gun and help me out. Riggs runs over and he scoops up the gun and he runs across the lot towards the superintendent. Now, what do you think Hartley's thinking? Here's another inmate, picks up the gun, and he's coming towards the superintendent. And later on, Hartley said, I don't know what told me not to shoot that inmate. But he said, something told me not to shoot him. And if I had, it would have ended up a whole lot different, because Riggs runs over here and he shoots Puebla point blank in the chest with such force he jerks the knife right out of the superintendent, and he falls right over here, and he's dying right there. So now Barney Riggs and the gate guy, that was I lost his name. Anyway, Sprague. Hiram Sprague was man in the gate. So Hiram Sprague and Barney Riggs support the superintendent, and they get him over to his office. Okay. So that stops the escape attempt. Now, all 4 of those guys were dead by the time the sun went down. They all died of gunshot wounds. Barney Riggs was hailed as the Superman of the prison, you know, the crack shot, and he was a tough old bird. Barney Riggs was pardoned because he helped quell the thing. And he actually came into the prison on December 31st, 1886, and he was pardoned on December 31st, 1887.
Wow, so he served 1 year.
Served 1 year for
murdering
murder.
a man.
That's a long story, the Barney Riggs story.
Wow.
It's very interesting too. But yeah, he murdered a guy over here in cold blood. Anyway, so he served 1 year and was pardoned. And he said, hey, I get to spend New Year's in Yuma. All right.
Wow.
He was cool.
Wow.
Now, Superintendent Gates survived, miraculously enough. Those people were so tough back in those days. It's amazing. He was back at work in 2 months.
Really?
I mean, he had a hole in his lung. I mean, it was bubbling blood out of his lung.
And these days we have emergency coming
And then
for
they had
a little,
nothing.
for nothing.
Nothing.
We humans are becoming so soft,
Yeah.
softy.
Anyway, so he convalesced until March of '88, and he said, you know what, I gotta pull the plug. I gotta leave. So he left, and Johnny Bean took over as superintendent. Now, Tommy Gates was probably the best superintendent they ever had. Fantastic superintendent. So in 1893, they called him up and they said, how you doing, Tom? You doing okay? And he goes, yeah, I can do it. I can come back. So he came back in 1893, and he was here for 3 years, working his wonders, doing wonderful things for the prison, economically and physically, the buildings. But he was not a well man. He had terrific migraines all the time. He had periodic paralysis in his right side. It just cave on him, you know, nerve damage in his neck. He had ferocious hemorrhoids. But the psychological part of this thing also was terrific. Every time he'd go in and out of the prison, he'd be walking past these spots where these guys are dying, screaming and bleeding in the dirt. And March 13th, 1896, he committed suicide right here in the superintendent's quarters. Very, very, very sad day for everybody, because he was just loved all over Arizona. Governors came to the funeral. Everybody was here. It was so big, they couldn't find a building big enough for the funeral. They had it out here in the yard. And after it was over, the inmates requested to view the body, which is very unusual. So they turned the little battery gun around, pointing into the yard, and they lined the walls with guards, and they took the body into the prison.
What was the reason they want to see the body?
They wanted to pay their respects. They
Oh, that
respected
was the
that
reason.
superintendent that much. They all went by and tipped their hats,
Really?
which is amazing show of respect for the superintendent of a prison. But he was very, very fair, and really took care of the guys. That was his
What
thing.
was his background?
That's a long story, Peter.
Yeah, but very quick. He was in law enforcement, or was a politician, or was
He was a
a
gambler.
gambler,
Yeah.
and become the prison warden
Yeah,
in the prison.
Real quick, he was in Tucson as a professional gambler for 2 years, made a killing because he was a card counter, and they didn't know what it was back then. So he made a fortune. He saved all his money. He went to Los Angeles in 1866 and built the biggest, fanciest saloon that Los Angeles had ever seen. Mahogany bars, imported liquors, and all that. Married the granddaughter of one of the old California Dons that owned land from San Bernardino to L.A. and from Ventura to L.A. I mean, a beautiful, beautiful girl, and she
How
got
old he was when he shot himself?
64.
64.
And then his wife got tuberculosis, so they moved to Tucson to try and dry it out, and it didn't work. She passed away.
So what
he
year
built
was when
another
he shot?
saloon then, and so then he's big in politics, and this is a political appointed position. So he was big in politics, so that's how he got the position.
Oh, that's how. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Politics.
Do you have a
everywhere.
question? Oh, well, you missed the whole thing.
Thank you, Smokey.
You bet.
Yeah.
My
Smokey,
pleasure.
thank you very much for this.
Have a
this
good
kind
one,
of very
Peter.
nice story. I really, really appreciate.
Take care.
And
Did you look at my book? It says it has my name on it, so I'm not lying to you.
Okay.
His name's Peter too, and my name's Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Yeah.